Okay, welcome home. I'm your anime manga mom. I'm so glad you're back. Today we're going to talk about my favorite anime, Fruits Basket. We're just going to go over the characters because there are so many things about this anime that I love and so many characters in it. And that's one of my favorite things about the anime is it's character driven. It is everybody has their personality, their backstory, their scars, their friendships, their goals, and it's such a vast cast of characters. There's main characters, there's secondary characters, there's tertiary characters. I mean, it's the mangaka really outdid herself. The mangaka is Natsuki Takaya. Anyways, fantastic what she did with this. We're gonna go over a few of the characters, and I guess not my rank of them, but I guess my how I see them, how I picture them. First and foremost is Toru Honda. She's the main character, the protagonist. She's the one it all centers around. Uh, she is a very empathetic, very generous, very kind of a little bit of an oddball. She's not the brightest crayon in the box, but she really makes up for it in how she cares for other people and her gratitude and her outlook on life. She's very positive, optimistic, and she's she's the soul of the group. Anyway, um, her you can't really go very far in this story without addressing a major character that is not really in it, and that is Toru's mother, who's Kyoko Honda. She raised Toru and she influenced her and she gave her so many pearls of wisdom that Toru cherishes and holds on to and passes along to anybody who will listen. She's an inspiration and uh, yeah, she's a very important character. Um, Toru has just lost her mom. Her father died when she was about 3 years old. He went on a work trip, got a cold, and developed pneumonia and passed away. So she doesn't really remember him. She does remember her mom because they were very close, and her mother cared for her and doted on her. So Kyoko is a very important character. When she passes away, Toru's paternal grandfather takes her in. But in order to make his house livable for extended family, he decides to have it renovated and remodeled, and he is going to live with other family and knows that Toru would not be comfortable. So he asks her, "Do you have a friend to stay with?" And she says, "Yes, I do." But she doesn't burden her friends. She doesn't want to inconvenience them. So she takes a tent and goes out and lives in the woods. As she's doing such, she runs across Shigure Soma's house. Uh, as she's walking along, she notices the little uh, zodiac figurines that he has laying out in the sun, and she appreciates them. And he's like, "Oh, you know the old story of the zodiac? Okay, good. I'm a big fan of the zodiacs myself." And little does she know that he is of a family that has a lineage that passes down a curse of the zodiac, and so sometimes in their family, someone is born with a zodiac spirit, and if they get very distressed, if they get very sick, or if they're hugged by a person of the opposite sex, they will transform into their animal. His animal is the dog, and he, I guess, expresses traits of this animal. I'm wearing green because Shigure usually wears a green robe, and Shigure is my favorite character out of the Somos, out of the whole anime. We can go into that later, but he's very playful. He's very funny. He kind of picks on people, uh, and not. It's mostly good natured, but he does tend to go for their insecurities and pour salt into them. Uh, he also Yeah, he's my favorite character. Uh, Also living with Shigure is Yuki Sama. Yuki is in Toru's grade, and he knows her. Um, he is shy, but not in a like embarrassed to speak shy. More as in a reserved, keeps to himself, doesn't express himself to others. He's just the quiet, reserved type. He's good at just about everything he does. He's very smart. He's very good at martial arts. He does tend to get a little sick from time to time uh, with bronchitis or whatnot, but he's very proper and he's considered very good looking. He has his own fan club of girls that have made it. impossible to be close friends with him because they have a rule that nobody can talk to him without other members of the club present, and nobody can go to his house. Nobody, there are just all these rules, and it just serves to isolate him more from people, even though he already has a fault in that area where he keeps himself separated. Eventually, we meet Kyo, which is the cat spirit, which is not an official member of the zodiac. It is part of the folk tale story, but he is not a zodiac member. And as such, he is the scapegoat of the family. And so all hatred, all punishment, all he's kind of ostracized. He's not allowed to go to the feasts, and he's the cat spirit is just treated poorly. I don't know what order we meet everybody in, so I'll just go on. Kisa is a younger member of the zodiac. She's a little bit younger than Toru and Yuki and Kyo. Uh, she is the tiger spirit, and she is very shy, but in a very embarrassed to speak kind of way. As a matter of fact, when we first meet her, she can't speak at all. She has just undergone some bullying at school, which in Japan typically is isolation and othering, um, mostly because she has lighter hair and eyes. And, if you don't fit the mold, then there must be something wrong with you. Anyway, um, so she undergoes this, and she needs Toru's encouragement to get back on track. We meet Toru's friends at school, which are Arisa Uotani, who is a juvenile delinquent. Her mother left when she was young. She was raised by an alcoholic father, and so she kind of did her own thing, fell in with a group of a girl gang. They would go cause trouble, steal, be violent. And Arisa grew up hearing about this epic biker who was the Crimson Butterfly. She would drive so erratically that her taillights would look like butterfly wings. And she wore a jacket with a crimson butterfly on it. And she was like, I want to meet this epic person. Turns out to be Toru's mom. So when she finds out that Toru is the Crimson Butterfly's daughter, she goes with her and meets her and finds not a hardened criminal, not a bad biker mama, but a doting, loving parent who's soft and, you know, just not at all what she expected. And it takes her a little while to come to terms with this. Um, then we have Saki Hanejima, which I love. Saki Hanejima, she's a little bit mysterious. She dresses like a kind of gothic Lolita look. Um, she wears all black to symbolize her guilt over not having the best control in her early life. She is the only one aside from the Zodiacs who kind of has a secret power. She says that she can pick up people's waves and she can send waves. She's a little bit lazy, but she owns it. But she's also very very loyal and very herself. She doesn't mind being a little bit of an oddball. She just owns it, and I love that about her. Um, Kagura Soma is a little bit of a problematic character. She's a couple of years older than Kyoyuki and Toru. She also forced Kyo to um, be engaged with her at the age of 7. So she sticks with that. She's the boar spirit, and so she's very pig-headed. I don't know. She's very hot and cold, very pushy, very violent at times, especially to Kyo and the house. Um, she's a problematic character. Not everybody really appreciates her. I like her much better in the 2001 version. She's much more toned down. Everybody kind of is. Everybody's kind of more like a regular teenager kid, you know. Um, but Kagura is very outspoken, very uh, kind of pushy. Then we meet Momiji. Momiji is half Japanese, half German, and in the 2019 uh, version, he speaks with a German accent. He is the cutest little boy, tiny little blonde boy with a German accent. At first, he's very immature, kind of instigates things a little bit, but very, very optimistic, very positive. I really, he's one of my all-time favorite characters. Uh, he's starts out, picking on Kyo a little bit, and when Kyo responds as he knows he will. He blames things on him, but all in good fun. Um, over time, you get to see how wise he is and how patient and how, determined. Very, very wonderful character. I love his stuff so much. Hattori is the same age as Shigure, and he is more like the father figure. He's the very, uh, he's responsible. He's responsible. He's the doctor for the Soma family, especially the inner Soma family. He is, eh, he's very thoughtful, does everything by the book, um, and he's just a bit intimidating because he's so serious and stark all the time. Uh, but he is great friends with Shigure. Shigure is the one who kind of like, I guess, tempts him into the dark side or tries to get him to go along with something fun and gives him the relief that he needs. But and then you tie into that trio. There's a another one, and that is Ayame. He's also the same age. They all went to school together. Ayame is the flamboyant, boisterous, you know, lives by the seat of his pants. He's the instigator. He's the one that starts everything. He and Shigure are thick as thieves, and uh, they make these elaborate plans. And Ayame, just has no bounds for his being reined in, except when it comes to Hattori. Hattori can kind of get him to fall in line. So they're a good trio. Ayame and Shigure will often play jokes and they'll pretend to be a couple, and it's very nostalgic to the way I grew up and the friends that I hung out with. Um, just very, very similar. Anyway, Ayame is also Yuki's older brother and the snake spirit. Did I say that he was the snake spirit? Hattori is the dragon, but he doesn't turn into a dragon. He turns into a seahorse or sea dragon. Um, did I say Momiji was the rabbit? Momiji is the rabbit spirit. Another one of my favorites is Hatsuharu, who is a little bit younger than Yuki and Kyo, but he falls right in line with the three uh, of the, you know, older kids. When I meet him, I thought he was much older because I met him at the Sonoma Estate and didn't like meet him with the other kids. So I was thinking that he was more along the lines of Ayame and Shigure, but alas, that was not the case. Hatsuharu is one of my favorite characters too. Because he is just so he's not bright. He's not, really, really uh he doesn't make high marks in school. Um and he one time got lost for 3 days because he went the wrong direction. But he's he's very emotionally intelligent. He's very loyal. He's a great friend. Uh, he's very fun to be around. He's a little mature in some areas, more so than many of the Fruits Basket characters, and that really makes a difference in how he comes off. He's got his own unique style. I love his hair. I love his style. I love the way he is with the people he cares about. It's just he's a really impressive character, even though he doesn't usually line up with my favorite characters, like the attributes that I love. But yeah, there's just something about Hatsuharu and how he interacts with people that I really appreciate. And of course, he's got a great style. Love him. Uh, Hiro-sama is the next one on my list. He is younger. He's around Kisa's age. He is the ram or turns into a sheep when he's hugged. He he is not my favorite Soma. Out of all the Somas, as cute as the little boy is, when he picks on Toru, when he complains to her, I feel like he's calling me out. I'm like, bro, don't step on my toes here. You know, uh, he's just mm, not my favorite type. Not doesn't treat people the way I like. Runs over people's feelings. Um, Kind of cruel on purpose. I not a fan. I know he's young, and I believe that you know people will work with him. He's not as narcissistic as he seems. He has very deep feelings for Kisa, but just he doesn't come off that way. And I know that part of that is his age, but anyway, not my favorite person. Uh, Ryutsu. Ryutsu is the monkey spirit. Ryutsu is the most anxious person you've ever met. Maybe not the most, but pretty high up there. I feel bad for people who have that level of anxiety all the time because there's only so many times I can say, no, it's okay, I don't mind, before I start minding, because I don't mind until you've apologized for it 57 times. Then I'm like, all right, well, we're not going to get past this because I say it's okay, you say it's not, I say it's okay, you say it's not. I can only do that so much. Uh, so I feel bad because I know that the person on the other end of that is actually feeling that anxiety and can't let it go. And so, uh, anyway, Ritsu is actually a boy, dressed like a girl. I think it was Kagura's outfits originally that he tried on, and said that it made him feel more at peace, more comfortable. And he's not sure if he's going to continue this fashion as he becomes a man and enters the workforce. We meet Isuzu. Isuzu is the horse spirit. She is very independent, very headstrong, uh, very beautiful, um, but a little too much on the sexy side. But it works. Not everybody's the same cookie cutter style. I really like her. Um, I would just assume she didn't like me and leave her alone. We would probably never be close because I would be slightly intimidated by her. And I mean, not so much that I think she's going to do anything, but just that I'm not her favorite person, and so I'm not going to push it. Um, but aside from her like sharp tongue and her slow to warm up attitude, I think she's overall okay. I agree with her on her last sentiments at the end of the series, but that's just me. She goes through so much. Her parents raise her and they're very loving and generous, but eventually they grow tired of the facade and they take it out on her, all of their frustrations, and she's damaged by it. And then Akito on top of that, oh, it's rough. It's rough. They all have it rough though. Kazuma Soma is the martial arts instructor for the family. He is right outside the main estate and he takes over caring for Kyo. Um, his his grandfather was originally the cat spirit, and so you got to also include Akito. Akito is the head of the family. I'm not going to say much about Akito because they're that's spoiler territory. You don't find out many things until later on. Akito is a member of the Zodiac. Akito is also the head of the Soma family. Akito is a little bit younger than, I guess, Kurno. Also grew up in a very, very messed up way, being told on one hand everything's about Akito, and on the other hand, that it's not real. Anyway, not to get into spoilers, I am not a huge fan of Akito. I think that even if you have been wronged, even if you grew up in a bad way, you are still responsible for your decisions and your actions. And I don't think Akito's actions are entirely forgivable. I mean, there's some horrible things that happen, but I'm not going to get into that now. Kurno is uh, the Soma member that is the rooster spirit. Uh, he's a little bit younger than Shigure, Ayame, and Hattori, but a little bit older than Akito. Um, he is the rooster spirit, but the spirit has weakened enough that he turns into a sparrow. Um, Something happens before the series starts that makes Kurano become isolated. Akito isolates Kurano from the other Zodiac members so they don't find out about certain events. Um, but he's very much like Toru in that he's selfless, generous, does things for other people, uh, even to his own detriment. Uh, I don't know if it's just out of niceness or if it's out of a weakness, character flaw, um, because even though he's trying to do something nice for somebody, it might not be the best choice. Actually, just with these characters alone, we've exceeded our time. So that is just basically the main characters. And there are so many other like smaller characters that make a big impact in the story. Um, Anyways, have you seen Fruits Basket? Who is your favorite character? If you have not, I recommend it. It is fantastic. There are a few age gappy icky spots. Um, some of the age gap ickiness is not actual, it's just crushes. All right, take care. Talk to you guys next time. Bye.